Welcome to the Next Gen Podcast, the official Next Gen Redemption podcast, where we only talk about the things that the YouTube algorithm will love. As always, I'm Ben, joined by my guys, Dante and Taylor. We're a little laggy. We're recording with Cred, so who knows how that's going to fucking go, but how are we doing, boys?
You got to deal with it. That's just Craig. That's Craig doing his thing. Work with what you got. We ain't got much.
It's going to be experience because it'll be interesting viewing. We're trying it different on the podcast because we can't do it the way we used to do it.
We have a lot of safety precautions that have to be in order.
Right.
And the reason why.
And none of us have really great internet connections, so if you just see one of us stop moving for a while, that's probably why. How you doing, Taylor?
I'm all right.
You, out of all of us, you got the most new going on since the last time we talked. Do you want to speak on that for a little bit, or you want to just act like it ain't happening?
About the job or what I've been buying?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, they're kind of the same thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, the job's going fine. I got a new job, new job.
Job.
It's different. It's,
Working, man.
it's at night, so well, technically it's in the morning, but that's great because I was up anyway. Might as well get this job.
Yeah, I'm about to say you were always a fucking late sleeper anyway, so it didn't really affect you that much, right?
There's been some time, like probably in the last week, twice I fell asleep on the job. But
Damn.
I mean, I did it. I'm gonna go
Wow.
on wax. They'll never see this. They'll never.
They won't.
If you see it, I'm
You
joking.
see, it's just all live for the YouTube media.
YouTube, Discord media. We were hoping to be joined by our boy Chris today, but he's preoccupado. Even though I feel like he's done by now and he could have joined, but he figured we were working earlier than we were. But that's his choice. That's fine. So, with a true Next Gen Redemption fashion, we're only going to stay on topic. So, by the time this video comes out, this might be kind of late news, but we have to talk about it because as of recording about 2 nights ago, former Chicago Bull Nate Robinson did not have himself a sweet night.
Don't talk about that.
If you don't know, there was the Mike Tyson celebrity charity boxing event that was being put on pay-per-view, and on the undercard was Nate Robinson versus YouTube star Jake Paul. All around great guy, as we know. Nothing wrong with him. And
Not controversial
at all. And how long did Nate last in the fight? Because I only saw the one clip, and it did not look good.
2 rounds.
What?
It was a couple rounds. Yeah. The whole fight was 9 minutes. It wasn't that long. It didn't take too long.
In layman's terms, professional broadcasting terms, he got knocked the fuck out on live broadcast. And on most, the NBA as a whole, especially with retired players, is a brotherhood. It wasn't that night.
They let him. They disowned him so quick after that. Like, no, he does not speak for all of us. We can take Jake Paul.
Except for
he does not speak for
Dwayne
us.
Wade and Gilbert Arenas. They were in his corner.
Yeah.
No, what did Wade say? I ain't see that. I'll probably go look it up.
I think he just said like what he basically just like retweeted what Gilbert said, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I got love for you. We're brothers, blah blah blah."
Oh, Jamal did too. He was like,
Crawford.
Something. Yeah, he was like something. Blah blah blah. Nate still one of the realest out of Seattle, and they still mess with him.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I talked to Dante about it. I respect it. It's.
Yeah.
Boy, the Klan has won today.
I was getting there, Taylor. I was gonna say, I mean, you gotta respect him for getting that far, but like I told Dante, hey, I'm all about that underdog mentality, but don't fucking try that on people who do this shit. You know what I'm saying? You just say what you want about them Paul boys. They do this shit. They'll fight.
I mean, if you talk shit, man, He's got to back it up, and he was talking shit a lot the entire fight. Like even like in the pregame stuff, he was talking shit like on Twitter and like in interviews.
I'm gonna shock the
saying,
world.
Like, yeah, I'm ready for Jake Paul.
And it's like, it's common sense. Like all three of us know that if we step into a boxing ring, it's not an end well for us. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be like, hey, don't touch shit.
Oh yeah, I'm already for that.
We worked hard. I was like, hey, you worked hard. Sometimes you still did not the fuck out.
It's part of the sport too. Like it's part of it. The trash talking and like all the jokes. If you lose, it's part of the thing. So,
did you see that picture of?
It'll pass though.
It is what it is.
And then
I mean, if you lose, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I wrote down our topics in level, descending order of importance, obviously. So I want to talk to you guys about Kelly Clarkson divorce proceedings because I saw an article, or I don't know if you heard about this, but Kelly Clarkson got divorced lately. Very sad. But in the proceedings that she kind of won so far, the judge, like the official thing was that they can't insult each other in front of their kids. And they can't drink alcohol or smoke marijuana within 8 hours of driving with the children in the car. And I just wanted to put that out there because I feel it. I don't know if that's just because my brain started going through it. So like, is Kelly Clarkson the one smoking weed, or is she drinking, or is it both him?
I'm like, isn't that what they're not? Isn't that what they're not supposed to do anyway? Like, yeah, you're not supposed to be drinking with your kids in the car. Like, that's just basic stuff.
I know, that's what it was. The fact that they had to put a whole legal document saying that stuff. Just
No,
that's wild.
I think the funniest part of that. I think the funniest part of that is that they were assaulting each other in front of the kids.
That's what it was. I was like, damn, what are y'all saying to each other? That you had to have a judge be like,
some really vulgar
hey,
stuff.
You can't say that shit.
You got to stop. I wouldn't recommend you doing that.
Do you think it was like shade? Like, being like, mommy's an alcoholic or some shit like that? Or do you think it was like, hey, this bitch is driving me nuts?
It had to be some real off the wall stuff if that was the case. It's got to be some off the wall stuff.
I was about to say, and it was like, you don't expect it with that particular grouping. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In that order too. Like, no, you can't.
Like, first thing first, y'all can't insult each other, and then y'all can't be smoking weed and drinking. Excuse me, that's guy.
I would put the weed and drinking up first, but like,
because I tend to stop wondering if one is doing both, or if like they're both doing both, or if like one does the other, and like, because sometimes like drinkers look down on smokers and vice versa and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Just staying with the news, I told both of y'all this in confidence, but I am now officially Benjamin O'Reilly 2020, admitting defeat to the PlayStation 5. I
was like, what? I was like, what? Is he? I was like, what are you talking about? Like,
saying that
finally gave up on it.
What do you think I was gonna say?
Oh no, you said like. I thought
I'm running for fucking president. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know why. You said 2020. I'm like, what?
That reminds me. I don't know if you guys saw this thing, but there was a video. Ryan Reynolds put it out. I don't know if he just produced it or if he was in it, but it was basically for like Match.com, and it was the devil sitting in hell, just like on his phone, like with his legs all over his chair and shit. And then he matches with somebody. So he goes, oh shit! So he goes down to earth and he's like standing under a bridge, like rom-com shit. And he comes up and she's like, Satan? And he looks around and he was like, 2020. And she goes, please call me 2020, and then like a lightning bolt comes down behind them. It's just like, and then you see them going on dates in like an empty. They have a picnic in an empty football stadium. They're stealing like toilet paper and shit like that. And then like at the very end, they show you Match.com, make 2021 your year and shit like that. So I was like, wow, folks, wild.
Yeah, it hasn't been the best.
No.
It hasn't been the best year.
But yeah, like going back to it, I'm giving up on the PlayStation for this year, and then possibly into 2021 because I'm just like, man, I'm not gonna get it. Yeah. And honestly, I'd rather just spend my money on a bunch of like smaller stuff than just buy the one big thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're making the right choice because, like, in terms of me, like, I'm not even about to like. No, I'm not getting a PS5. Like, not anytime soon.
Yeah, because me and Taylor talked about it too. Like, it's not like anyone in our friend group is like really rushing to get it.
Yeah, no.
Because like, what Chris said, the PS4 first, and then Dante. I think right. That's how it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was the last one.
And we didn't. Even then, we got it late. Like we were on the PS3 for a while.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. A lot of good games on the PS3.
Yeah, and the PS4. I don't want to call you out, Taylor, but man, you were staring intently at the screen for a little bit.
Oh, I was installing the driver.
That's what I thought. Oh, by the way, I still need to write the script for the thing we were talking about, the contest.
I was looking through my scripts. Yesterday, deciding what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. Is the deadline going to be pushed again, or are we just stick with Friday?
No, we can stick with Friday. I mean, it won't take that long.
Right.
I usually edit in like 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah, I was just say I could do it in the night. For contests for the kids at home, Taylor decided to do a little script writing contest, a little skit contest with me, him, and Taylor. And then Dante was invited, and at first he was like, "Nah, I'm just gonna watch Drakeness." But then when Taylor pressed him a little more, so he said, "Well, I have ideas." I'm like, "Why are you doing the fucking thing then?"
Good idea, man.
Because we're gonna use them all anyway.
I got it. Yeah.
It's just for like bragging rights for like 5 minutes, maybe. And really, it's just to talk shit to Everett and talk shit about him. That's really what it was designed for.
Yep.
I know how Taylor's mind works. Speaking of Everett, I like this thought just periodically comes into my mind. I don't know why, but I was thinking about conventions lately, and then I was thinking about all the times I've went with Everett, and then I thought about things that me and Everett have done in high school, and then Everett always has this thing where he doesn't like understand weeb culture. I remember in high school we used to call him weeaboos all the time, and then
yeah,
like he would always say it like with like he wasn't confident in himself as he said. He was like weeaboos, and then like because basically the whole reason I'm telling the story because we were at Comic-Con one year. It was me, him, and Tadane just sitting around figuring out what to do next, and then everyone was looking through the little brochure book, and he was like, "Hey, they have a Hunter x Hunter panel going on," and he's like, that's a weeaboo thing. I'm like, Everett, you realize you're a comic book fan, right? You can't be throwing shade on fucking anime fans. What kind of glass house are you living in? And he just didn't understand it. Like, I guess he thought that was just like high culture comparatively. And I was just like, why are nerds always trying to talk smack to other nerds? I never understood that myself.
Y'all got common interests. You just don't want to admit it yet.
Y'all have the most common interest of that. Y'all got anything you want to talk about before I keep going?
Yeah. You remember when nerds tried to gatekeep Nerdle? Like,
oh, you mean like now?
When, yeah, for real. Like, oh, well, you bullied me in high school because I also grew out of that. like kind of not change.
Have you run into that yourself, like personally, or is you just looking at it?
No, mostly just on like online forums and things like that.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, people want it, right? Like, it's like people are always in the wrong or always in the right. When usually it's just like somewhere in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I've talked to you a bunch in our own time about this, Taylor, and Dante too, to a lesser degree. But it's like I don't understand the fascination with people like really caring about what other people like, because like you're watching a show by yourself most of the time, just watching it on your own. Like, what the fuck do you care that someone else is doing that? You know what I mean?
I agree with that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Like, this kind of segues nicely into a topic I had, because I know you guys probably aren't keeping it up with the way me and Chris are, which is why I wanted him on here. But you know, whatever. The
Mandalorian.
Yeah, Mandalorian. Not spoilers, but just talking about the show in a grander scheme. I like how I just said, "Oh, it's Star Wars" because of Chris. But you know, there's always a lot of conversation about shows that are the most popular at any time, which is fine. I really don't care whether people think the show is good or not. I just care if I do. But there's this sentiment about what good storytelling and good TV is supposed to do, and like I've seen this a lot, where people are like, the Mandalorian isn't a good lead character because he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. Basically, like he's not like, oh, because here's what it is. Because, you know, season 2 has a lot of guest stars. There's a lot of moving around because it's a fucking space cowboy show. It's going from town to town, more or less. And people are like, the show is sweeping its hero to the side. And I was like, no, that's what that character is designed to do. He's designed to be not necessarily a blank template, but he's more about reacting to the world around him as opposed to the world reacting to him. You know what I mean? And I just hate because with the whole golden age of television, people want everything to be like Breaking Bad or be like The Wire, which are great shows, don't get me wrong, but I don't want every show to be like it is. Like,
follow the same format.
Right. I read an article that I really liked that said that The Mandalorian is basically designed like a video game. He's going from place to place. He gets really sidetracked from his main goal, and he levels up and he gets new gear as he goes along. And, you know, video game characters aren't always supposed to be, at least the player characters are supposed to be a little, not more boring, but you don't want them to be as defined as the characters around them because you're supposed to imprint yourself onto it, which is kind of like what Mando is. And it's just like, you know, does it matter in the show's legacy? Like, I don't care. You didn't have those conversations about what its impact and what it stands for. I don't really care. But like, character is a character. Like here's the thing: if you think he's a weak character, that's fine. That's your thing. But don't be like, oh, this is what it's
opinion.
This is what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Which I see with like all kinds of shows, where it's like it doesn't do this, so I don't like it.
I mean, like it's on you. Like it's your own like opinion on. If you don't like it, that's perfectly fine. But like you shouldn't be judging everybody else if they like it or not. Be mean about it,
right? And you know, the whole point of art is that it's not this monolithic thing, right? It's up to whoever's making it.
Yep.
But season 2 is really good, and you should catch up if you haven't yet.
I really want to, but I don't have Disney Plus anymore.
That's what I'm
trying to save.
No,
I've heard like it's really good.
Hey, we're in a pandemic. I can't be faulting you for that.
Okay. I just talking about subscriptions. I just subscribed to YouTube Premium.
Really?
And like, so because I was gonna do YouTube Music, but YouTube Music was $9.99, and then I looked at Premium for music, YouTube ad free and everything, and it was $11.99. So I'm like, why would I pay $9.99 just to get the one service when I could pay $11.99?
Yeah, like barely $1 more for everything.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you get access to like movies too, right? Like some movies and shit like that, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've been shuffling my subscriptions around a lot, but I'm not subscribed to WWE anymore. I've not subscribed. That's its own conversation.
He told me about that. He said that was a long time.
It really has, but they've been testing me. I'm not subscribed to Audible anymore, but then I'm subscribed to like Rooster Teeth because they have a new TV app, which is really cool. And then I think then I just, you know, I'll buy like, I'll start at Taylor in 2020. I'm buying games on my Vita still, just because I don't want to download all this shit to emulate Windows on my MacBook.
Right.
For Steam or shit like that.
I can dig that.
Steam, I'll go to Monster Prom one of these days, and we can maybe hop on that.
You just sped up really fast.
I heard that too.
Yeah, and then you guys froze on my end. Like you guys are just like. But as long as the recording's fine, like the recording hasn't had any huge issues, so that's fine. Or I was just talking really fast. That could be it too. Let's see what else.
So what else on the?
So it's on the docket.
The docket. I mean, we low key we sped through a lot of it. I'm not gonna lie. But just talking about like what we're doing for the channel, I guess. You know, because we were gone for like a month.
Yep.
And we never had like ish, probably more than a month. We've never had like a really set schedule either.
It's just like whenever you finish editing, that's when we drop a video.
When we first started, we did like daily, but then nobody was watching. And then, I mean, still there's not a lot of people are watching, but we did better views when we did like once a week. So we started doing that. And then the days varied. I think for a while we did Friday and Saturday. Now we just do, like I say, whenever I fucking finish editing it. But yeah, I mean, really, it's just hard because of the pandemic and because we're not that well equipped. Taylor has a computer, but I have a Mac. And then even then, you know, Taylor's got his schedule. Dante has his. And then me and Tristan's schedule are weird. I mean, I don't really have a schedule. I'm just at home. But, you know. So.
No, still.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing stuff. I just don't want to.
Yeah, like days you're not available, which is fine.
Right. I think I've been out the house like 3 times in the past like 5 months, if that. Probably more, but that's what it feels like. But so like this is like one of the easiest things we can do, even though we don't really know what the fuck we're talking about all the time, because we're just sitting around. I think I figured out how we could share my gameplay through Discord. I'm gonna have to test it out still. I mean, yeah, for most people this is like nothing, right? This is easy, but you know, we're still fucking new at this. I'm not that tech savvy.
Yeah.
But you know, we're always, you know, I know Taylor has been talking about equipment. We've been always trying to look at new equipment when we can, but you know, money's a little tight, so obviously that's not always how it's going to be. But I've always been wanting to branch out and do multiple podcasts and kind of like break up into different pods. Because me and Taylor have had an idea for like a comic book podcast, a comic book podcast for years. Me and Dante talked about doing a music podcast a while back. And then I've been wanting to have just different combinations, like have Dante and Taylor work on some, Chris and me work on some, Chris and Dante work on some. You know what I'm saying? That's really hard to do with our schedules. But, you know, that's like the closest thing we got to like a production like docket schedule. The state of Next Gen Redemption, I guess.
Yeah, anytime.
We're not perfect.
Anytime after 12. I'll be fine because I usually just get home, try to take a nap, wake up around 12 or 1, and just try to stay up until like 6 and go to sleep.
I was about to say, when you go home, like 11? Or a little earlier?
I mean, since I'm part-time, I mean, I could stay until 11, but you've heard some of the stuff and yeah, mostly that's the reason why I leave like around 8 or 9.
Oh, so you still did a good few hours. You power through it, right?
Yeah,
that's really good though.
It's better than nothing.
Like, oh yeah, like even though it's long hours, it's worth it though. As you get paid, it's totally worth it. I know it doesn't feel like it now, but like trust me, I've worked like almost like a whole week of working, and I'm tired as fuck every time. But like, it's worth it. Like when you get that paycheck.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
here it is.
This time of year is usually when I would do that at Target, where we'd be like, "Okay, you're not gonna be home for a while."
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna be here.
Strangely enough, I miss being at Target during the holidays. Because it's kind of like you know how when you're at school. And like for the holidays, like you don't really like being there because you don't want to do work, but like the atmosphere is better because everyone knows they're going home and it's just holiday stuff.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from.
Shoot, at the new job, I met a whole bunch of like really cool people. Like they're just like cool to hang and chill with while working and like talk to you. So,
I think I'm Everett over there too.
Yeah, me and Everett over there.
I'll always help you out.
Hey, the old boy Everett.
Yeah.
Well,
He was happy
You
as
guys
hell when
froze
he
for a
found out
little
that he was working with him.
I mean, it's a decent job. It's good paying. It's like,
This was really important.
yeah.
And you ain't doing this shit for free.
I say, because this fucking second stimulus check ain't coming with a bitch, so I'm just sitting here like,
I mean, I guess I'll go to work. They ain't drop it yet. Shit.
Nah, man, I don't know, because me and Dante have talked about this. Is like whenever Illinois is about to go on lockdown, Dante sends me a message because I've been kind of calling this shit before it happened. Because I was the first one to
keep telling everything. Yep.
I was like the first one to huddle up, and it's like I've thought about going back to work a couple times, but like as soon as I do, it's like something happens.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, nope, stay in my ass at home.
And it makes you like really like anxious to go to work again because not everybody's wearing masks and like everybody's going out if they're feeling sick.
Right, so and it's not so much for me, but for my family. Cause, you know, they're a little older, and you know, me and Taylor got asthma, so I'm not trying to risk it either. You know what I'm saying? But like,
man,
me and Chris have had to. Sorry, go ahead, Taylor.
What happened? No, finish it.
No, I was saying because like me and Chris have gone out a couple times to help my mom with stuff, but that's just like bare necessities, and we were masked up the whole time, you know. So
I remember me, you, Chris.
Been seeing.
Was Dante with us that day?
When we went to Benny's. Yeah,
we went to your house, and then your mom's house, and then we thought you were gonna stay in. She was like, "Oh no!" Like she just opened the door, grabbed the bag, and told me goodbye.
Oh yeah. I don't remember if Dante was there or not, but he might have been. Were you driving, Taylor, or was Dante driving?
I feel like
I thought Chris was driving. I think I surely remember being in the back of his.
No, you're right. He was. Because there was a bunch we saw something on the way there. Oh no, we drove over the Black Lives Matter thing at Each 8 Cents.
Yeah.
And
I was driving.
Oh, was that a different time? I know you're damn. No, Chris was driving when we went to Benny's. But was that the same time though?
That might have been the same. Yeah, that was the same time.
And but when we drove over the Black Lives Matter thing, that was Dante. I know that. No, it was Chris. Chris was driving because Dante was like, "Hey, Chris, you better watch what the fuck you're doing."
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was like
already been vandalized.
We don't get nothing over here.
Yeah, but you're right. He just shoved me the bad, and I was like, "Okay, bye." I was okay.
I was at the barbershop earlier, and I was at the barbershop earlier, and I was getting my hair cut, and so almost I could have ruined my lining because I was like, there's a lot of safety precautions here for COVID, but like, what if I sneeze and then he think I got COVID, and then like it's gonna be that awkward moment, and so then while I was thinking that, I was like,
he was done like the scissors above you, and he's like,
and then I chuckle, and he was like this on my line. I was like, that's real funny. It moved my head. Like, all right, I could have messed my line up.
Yo, like
that could have been
yo, man, I think you're gonna have to go, man. You're gonna have to step.
Right.
Not over here.
Yeah, because my old man, Archie, had to have a test because he had like an earache for a while because he worked one time. But it was negative. But it was like you're sitting there like, shit, man, I've made it this far. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to fucking get it 7 months in.
I'm on a hot streak. I don't want to tamper with things.
All for nothing.
Yeah, that's why I've been. Like that's why I've been like in the house, and like I've just been like I've been going out. Like I don't go to Jesse's house anymore.
I was gonna ask you about that.
It's kind of sad, but like I know it's the right thing to do, and she's okay with it.
Because me and Chris were wondering that because we saw you were online one Saturday. I was like, oh, is he at home or?
It's the right thing to do.
Is he at home or just a PS4 or?
Yeah.
Tristan leaves PS4 on all day, so. And then he wonders why I won't read this no more.
I used to get so annoyed when he did that. Like, bro, turn it off. You're gonna miss.
I think we've talked shit about him in that specific way like 5 times on the channel. Like we brought it up like a bunch of times. I know we have.
Yeah, like I used to tell him, like, bro, like it's gonna hit you sooner or later. Where like you're gonna try to play 2K and it just pops out.
You know,
like a few months later, he's telling me like, "Hey, Don, my 2K ain't working." Like, yeah,
I hate his reasoning because
that's why
he's like, they gonna drop a new system. They gonna drop a new system. It was like 2 years into the console cycle. They gonna drop a new system, and then I'm gonna upgrade to that.
Buy the new one when it happened. He didn't buy a Pro.
Right.
Chris isn't a flat earther, but he's like almost. You know what I'm saying with his logic and reasoning. He's like,
if he came up like on the chat and just said, "Hey guys, the Earth is flat," I'm like, "That's not surprising, Chris."
That's you not be surprised. I don't remember what it was, but there was one thing I was telling. I've gone to Taylor a couple times, and I was like, "Yo, Chris said this shit," and Taylor just goes like, "Well, good luck with that." He's like, "Wow." And then, but nowadays we focus on Everett more so. Because his logic is something else. And Taylor will always come to me as like, Ben, is it me or is it him? I was like, no, it's him, dog. Because Everett is really smart, but he doesn't think like through all the steps. Like he starts at like step 2, and then he's like, okay, I'm done.
Dude, we had an argument one time at work about could you consider a documentary a film? I was going for yes, you can consider it a movie. He was saying no, you can't, because a movie follows a certain set path and it has to have a main character, a story arc, and all that. I'm like, what? I'm like,
a story,
like, a movie. Yeah, I'm like, what are you talking
about? A movie just
about?
has to be on film. That's literally all it is.
Right, for real. A movie is just a sequence of shots edited together.
Yeah.
Like anything, like we could literally turn this into a movie into.
Yeah, we might have to with the way those first 20 minutes went.
Right.
But no, Everett's, yeah, it's like, I don't want to talk shit, but he spent a lot of money at film school, and it's just like, that's important stuff, but at the same time, like, you know what it takes to make that shit like a new rule, like to change it? All you have to do is be like, okay, I decided that's not true anymore.
Right.
Like all it takes to innovate is just to show them, okay, I'm gonna do it this way instead.
I've been trying to tell the man. I'm like, oh, look, they're like, you don't have to follow a set path when first of all, you're creating something. You literally create what you want to make. Like, you don't have to follow predetermined, set out paths of what's considered filmmaking.
Right.
I'm like, man, you went to school? No, but
it's just that he
school for that.
Speak on it. It's just that he kind of man, we really shouldn't be talking about our friend like this on Wax, but he kind of limits himself sometimes mentally. Like, he puts himself in the box.
I've been trying to help him out. I've been trying to support him.
Like, he's one of the smartest creative people I know, but it's just that sometimes he just doesn't allow himself to be as good as he could be. We should try to get him on next time.
Man, he ain't doing
I really want to.
We still gotta try to do Among Us.
I really want to know. Because that's an interesting conversation I want.
Oh, knowing Everett and Taylor the way I do individually, I know it'll be a sight to behold. I'll just kind of sit back and look at it. So I was on my phone last night. Again, Next Gen Redemption is the master of segues, as we always are. I told Taylor this before, but I put a little screen timer on Twitter, so I can only spend like 10 minutes a day on it, and it was so nice. Because like 10 minutes will just fly by, and you realize that you spend like 40 minutes on it without even realizing it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's gotten to the point where it's so good where it's like, I don't even just go on the app anymore. Like, I'll go on like once a day, and then that's it. And it's like, okay, I feel so good. But I got an email from Instagram at like 6:30 at night saying, "Hey, Koala Phantom, we've noticed you've been having some issues logging in." And I'm like, uh-oh. Because I never logged in. I just have the app. So I was like, oh, shit. If someone tried into my account. So I checked at first off, I checked to see that the email's legit. It was. Now, granted, they still should have just been fucking up, right? They should have been like a glitch in the system. And I checked my activity, and it says there's only like 2 logins. One is like currently, and then one was in Evanston, November 19th. And I don't remember what the fuck was going on. It didn't say my iPhone. It just said iPhone. So I was like, so no one got in, but I guess maybe someone was trying to get in because Instagram can just put like the username in and try to get it right and try to reset the password. So, and Instagram is owned by Facebook, so we know that their shit isn't that great. But just to be sure, I fucking made a new password for Instagram and Facebook, just because it's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
But I was just sitting there being like, uh-oh. Because it wasn't stressful, but it was just like, it did make me uncomfortable. I was like, oh, shit. And it was as I was trying to figure out fucking OBS for today. So I was just tired to begin with.
Yeah, but I mean, like, because, like, is this Instagram? And, like, I understand why you're like, no, it's just... Like it still sucks though.
They couldn't get. Well, here's my thing, because like they couldn't get my credit card or something. But I'm not trying to like imagine like y'all just sitting there and then you see like a story from me and it says the election was stolen and you're like, whoa, wait,
whoa.
Oh, it takes like, hey, like I thought we were on the same page with this.
Hold on.
Hey, you pull out my phone. Hey, yo, you good?
But that's the thing I was scared of. But I'm not trying to be canceled for something I didn't do. You know what I'm saying? Like if it was something I did, oh well. But I'm not trying to have something for something I didn't say.
Like I told you, Ben, that one time, if I get canceled, I'm going out on my own terms, and it's gonna be because of me.
I'm going out swinging.
Everybody gonna be mad. God gonna be looking down on his phone like, can't believe he said that.
And he swipes to the right. Keeps it
and like
retweet. Fucking killing me. Oh, man.
Ain't Tay Savage.
Damn, I built this character peculiarly different.
Hey man, I just pressed fucking random and saw what happened. Did I tell you guys I figured out the design for Chris's Clapping Cheeks t-shirt?
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh my!
It's in the center, and this could be used for Clapping Cheeks or for ladies. It could be for either one. And it's like it's on the chest, and it's like, sorry, Chris. I mean, we're still going. You can pop in if you want to.
Don't worry about it.
But it's like the Looney Tunes circle. And then Chris is popping out like Porky the Pig, and he just says, "Clap them cheeks" above it. And then on the back it'll say "Next Gen Redemption."
Yeah, but the main part is the clap.
Yeah, that's the front and center.
Or we rip off the Home Alone, clapping cheeks.
That'll be the second design. Oh man,
it's gonna happen.
I mean,
so what else?
He's a character, man.
He's a character. We've been going for almost 40 minutes. What else we got to talk about?
What interesting games y'all been playing?
Oh, that was gonna be my next question probably. I just finished Cold Steel 4.
Nice.
And it was like goddamn, man, it got me fucking. Me and Taylor talked about crying for stuff. I don't cry when I watch stuff, but I do get my feelings. I do get my feelings a lot. Mm-hmm. I cry in the club as it is. So I was like, damn, I got emotional because I played the first game on a whim, and then I saw like, oh cool, there were 4 games, and then I played the fourth. I was like, oh shit, there are no more, man.
Who stops at 4?
Right. I mean, they're gonna have like spin-offs and shit because they'll just do like the next version. It's kind of like Power Rangers or some shit. But like, man, it ain't gonna be the same. But what you been playing, Dante?
I mean, like, fine. I will admit it. Even though I don't like the narrative and the story, I've been on The Last of Us again.
Hot take.
Yeah, I've been on.
What? No.
Wait. No, I'm not done. Like, I'm saying, like, I still. It's just the story, but the gameplay is just like it's the best it's ever been. I have no problem with the gameplay. It's just that
it.
story and how they tried so hard. No, but like I've been playing The Last of Us again, and Spider-Man. I'm trying to
you got Miles, right?
Go all the way on that one. I'm about Miles Morales. I'm about like halfway done with like 100%. Like it's just I've been talking to Taylor about it too. Like it's hard. It's like a lot. It's harder. It's harder than like a.
Everett better put
it's
on my name. I'll beat that game in a day and a half.
If Taylor didn't do that, I was gonna beat it like in like a day and a half too, because I'd be playing games like on the day.
We talked about that before. Like we all beat the first Spider-Man PS4 on like a weekend, like collectively,
and we all 100% of that like right after each other. So like, I
texted Dante when I was playing. Like, I just left Scorpion alone so I could finish the lab thing. I was like, you just left him alone.
I did everything after on the main story because like it was going to be available again, but Ben didn't know that.
I did everything. Like I was like break it up into sections. I do a long part of the campaign, then I go do all the side missions and collectible, and then just hop back and forth.
Yeah, that's why I do it like the Yakuza games. I would do like a chunk of story whenever it would slow down, I would do like hours of side content, just to try to make it fit in my head, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
I respect you on playing The Last of Us 2, Dante. It's a great game. The story's just not great.
Yeah, like, I'll play it on the channel. Like I got no problem on the channel, but like it's just like
I almost copped it because
I'm gonna be talking smack about this.
It was on sale for Black Friday, but I already bought a bunch of stuff because I bought like a Ruby T-shirt and I bought like game on the Vita, and then plus all of my subscriptions. So I didn't want to buy another thing, but I'll play it eventually. And I'll probably have more muted opinions than you guys do because I generally don't usually. It's not that I don't care as much. I just usually keep it moving. I said that like, that was it, and I move on to the next thing because I have such a backlog of stuff.
Yeah, I feel you. Thing is, with that game, it wasn't even the most part for it. Wasn't like I thought the story was bad. I thought the way they set it up, broke it down, and then tried to force that part of the narrative. Like, oh well, it's a change in. She grew as the game went on and progressed. I'm like, no, that's not how that works.
It was like they just kind of threw it in the middle, like, oh, this happened, and it was like, you didn't really set that up.
Like I don't know how much do you know about the story? Do you know anything?
I really just know that fucking like Joel dies, people were mad, and then she decides like she basically gives up the cycle of violence in the end or something, right? Because they have the whole boat thing. Which I think is a cool ending. I think that's a nice way to end it. But I didn't know the middle and all that.
It could work, but the problem is because this is the thing with video games. Like in the cutscene, they don't have to kill anything.
But like the gameplay,
like the cutscene and the gameplay are drastically two different things. So if you're
that's everybody's issue too,
right? So like you could. Like I don't even think. Can you progress through the game without killing anyone? I don't even think there's that option. Like it would have been better if they had that option.
So I think you and I talked about this like a long time ago with like the Uncharted games, with the whole like this disconnect with him like just snapping people's nets and then the story.
Right.
So basically, what you thought would have worked better, which I think it would have been a really cool idea if you could go the entire game without killing anybody, like you're kind of alluding to. Because the whole Undertale thing, that game, which we'll still do on the channel at some point, you can only play the game, like you can only like basically kill people or spare them, and then the world reacts to how you do that.
Right.
Like when you do the peace route, the game gets more vibrant. It's more like an anime. There's music, all this stuff. But then when you play like the genocide route, when you kill everyone, there's no music. You just hear like air because there's nobody left.
Right. Yeah, that's like I remember one of the Metal Gear Solid games did. Like you could go through, like it's like a river you walk through. Like if you kill people, you'll see their bodies come. I mean,
yeah, that was Snake Eater.
And then like if you don't, then there's like you're just walking straight through. And I think that would have been like an interesting idea for the game. But like trying to put that narrative again where it's like seems like it basically like revenge was not needed, basically.
Yeah, like it wasn't necessary.
That could be the point they're going for. I don't know. I haven't played it, so I still need to see it for myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. But after you murder so many people, she murdered innocent people to get to what she wanted to do, and when she finally
I didn't know that.
When she finally gets there,
and dogs too.
Okay, so I knew about the dog thing. So basically, you want there to be some kind of consequence for it.
Yes, I mean there is a consequence, but it's not really a heavy consequence. It's just like, okay, we're going our separate ways.
So it's like Dexter.
I never seen that.
Well, I didn't see it either, but I knew the whole story. Like, he's so serial killing and stuff like that, and in the end, he gets away, and he just lives on like he lives as like a lumberjack, and then people were like, there was another story I can't remember too, but there's like sometimes you want the character, even if they're the main character, you want them to have consequences for their actions.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want to see, like even if it's a serial killer you still want him to like face the music at the end. You know what I mean?
Some form of justice.
Yeah.
So that's what it mean when because I heard people talking like how they twisted the characters and all like that, and I was like, so basically the fact that they basically had her do a heel turn without really committing to it. Dante, is that what it was?
A little bit, yeah. Actually, yeah, a lot with the wrestling. I like that. That's a good terminology for that. That's exactly how I feel.
Thought of it on the spot.
Yeah.
That's.
I mean,
in the biz, we call that freewheeling. No, I don't know. Well, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I don't know, because it's weird for me, because I told you guys when the game first came out, I think we talked about it on the podcast then, or some. We talked about it on some, I know that much. Mm-hmm. That I never had really strong emotional connections to that series. I thought it was well done, and I liked it. And I liked all the people involved, but that's still not like I like them better in other things. Not that they're bad in it, but it's not like that's my favorite Troy Baker or Laura Bailey or Ashley Johnson performance. I think it's up there because you have to put up there because of the level of performance.
Right.
But like I don't know, just for me being open and out there and in fairness, I don't know if there would be anything where I did like super mad. Like maybe in the moment. Like Ruby has another thing where people did like mad because they like, oh, the characters did this, they did that, even though there's a point to it, it's all about how they react to the world.
Right.
But because I try to think, like, I'm sure, like, it's not like it's like, how much I hated what they did with Black Widow on Age of Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
That's like really that's the only thing I can really think of. Like, even then with like Rise of Skywalker, I was like, yeah, it was a little disappointing, but I didn't hate it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, I can't believe they did that. Like, it was fine. Right. Even when they killed Luke, spoilers, when they killed Luke Skywalker, I wasn't mad. I thought it was well done. I thought it was a bummer, but I wasn't like, oh, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Because I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm simple-minded. When I see the pretty thing, it distracts me. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I like how that looks on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I probably would have played Last of Us 2, and it would have been like, oh, that's fucked up. Oh, look how nice the water looks. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Oh wow! Look at them graphics. Or maybe there's nothing wrong.
Or maybe I would have been mad because maybe it would have insulted me. I don't know. We'll find out on the channel someday, probably.
Yeah, you'll.
Oh yeah, I can. I should tell Taylor, like, I don't mind if like, anybody likes the game. That's perfectly fine. I'm just saying, like, it didn't make me happy.
Which is what I always thought was fair, because I just didn't like that some people were trying to retro to be like, oh, Neil was never a good writer and he was never a good director, and like, oh, if the Naughty Dog's problem is his fault. And I was like, calm down, it's a game. You know what I mean? Like,
it's.
I'm not there. I don't know how involved he is with all this shit. I'm not gonna act like I do.
I mean, they said it would be decisive, and oh boy, were they were right.
Yeah, like they probably would have been better off making it a little less decisive.
Yeah.
But also, like that game sold incredibly well, didn't it? Like, it sold like really well.
it sold well, and it's one of the most completed PS4 games. It's the number one.
Who fucking cares?
PS4 game, actually.
They're not going to try themselves to sleep. Who fucking cares? It did what it was supposed to do.
They made the money.
They made the money. I mean, it played. It works from all I hear. I mean, that's all I can ask for from a game nowadays. Hey, does it fucking work? Cool. Like, because you and I had a conversation.
Split them down the middle.
Yeah. You and I, Taylor, had a conversation about the whole Game Awards thing. You know, it was like, you know, some people, you know, the whole Tyrone madness thing. Talking about like, oh, I can't believe, you know, it just can't be the game of the year. And I was like, yeah, people are gonna be mad, but also I don't fucking care. Like, I don't like that that there's a whole like bonus thing. Like, you know, people won't get their bonuses if it doesn't get like an award or some shit like that. I don't like that, but that's just capitalism, right? That's like people getting mad about how much merch costs. Like, number one, do you know how much it costs to make merch? Number one. And then number two, like, you know, this is all extra shit, right? Like, they're not forcing you to buy this shit. Like, yeah, they're putting in your face that they want you to buy it, but like, it's up to you whether you buy a damn t-shirt or not. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I normally wouldn't pay $20 for a t-shirt, but also I can't find it anywhere else but there. So I'll fucking pay for it, you know? But yeah, like, I don't think that Last of Us 2 will get the Game of the Year award. I think it'll probably be Hades or Ghost of Tsushima. But
I think it will.
I don't think it will. But, you know.
I think it will. I mean, it also, it strongly, I don't want to use this word, but it strongly fits the Oscar bait type, not filter, but I'll use filter for lack.
Right, I do what you're saying.
It's like okay, this story made me feel a type of way, made me think emotionally whether I liked it or disliked it, and it's like I mean, that's usually what critics go for. Like, do I see myself in the character? Did that character change or shape some form or part of me, or what was I doing in the situation that shaped the form or part of me? You know,
also, to be fair though, last year that's what people thought, like, oh, Death Stranding's gonna win and it doesn't deserve it, but it didn't win. Sekiro won, which is not a story at all. It's just it's a Dark Souls game. It barely has a story, so you know that's what I'm banking on, because it's just like. Also, I feel like recency bias, right? Like it feels like a year since Last of Us 2 came out. So I just feel like because Ghost of Tsushima came out during quarantine, and then Hades was not too far out. Hades was just a few months ago. I feel like that's why it's going to be like people are going to go for that. And also just because...
I mean, The Last of Us was also...
Well, you know, yeah, it was. But it was like beginning, and then Ghost of Tsushima was like the middle of quarantine, and then Hades is like a couple months ago. So that's what I mean. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised either way. I just... I don't feel... I mean... I wouldn't be surprised if it did win, but I feel like it won't. Also, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
It doesn't matter. I mean, at the day,
I think we talked about
there's like 8 different awards.
I think we talked about it on the pod.
Yeah,
like you make your own game of the year. That's what we talked about before. Like if you like, that's yours.
No, wait, hold on. No. See, because awards do matter. Y'all better give 2016 best makeup.
Suicide Squad?
Or best, yes.
That's an Oscar-winning film, Dante.
It's an
you can't say it's not.
Film.
Ain't nothing wrong with Suicide Squad. I was one of the few people who like, oh,
there's enough wrong. It was fun.
I had fun with it.
Okay, there was one. People that say there was one thing.
Yeah, like, I don't know what I was.
And then I'll spoil a little Mandalorian for it. There's one thing, and I talked to you, Taylor, about this. And it made me hate the character, and it made me hate the arc, and it made me hate the writing. Was when at the end El Diablo was like, I lost one family, I'm not gonna lose another, and then he fucking did the fire thing. And I was like, fuck you. You guys talked for like 5 minutes, and it was like, that's when I get insulted. That's when I'm like, that's when I had like The Last of Us, where it's like, it didn't work. I didn't like what they did, because it's like the whole Fast Five thing, family, like people say it, but they don't show it. Right. What I liked about Mandalorian was that it took them 2.5 seasons for a character to look at Mando and be like, oh, you're like his dad, you're like his father. And I was like, cool. It made sense because we spent so much time with them. times past in the world, it makes sense. If they had done that at like the end of season 1, I would have been like, get the fuck out of here. You know, they met like 3 episodes ago. That's my little soapbox.
Yeah. Okay. Talking about games, I recently beat Resident Evil 3, the remake.
Ooh,
this guy.
Like I like the characterization of Jill and Carlos, like especially the way Jill reacts to things that Nemesis does, or things like that, or what happened on screen.
Right.
Like I like that. The story it's there. The dodge mechanic kind of iffy.
Yeah, I was a fan of the dodge mechanic. You got to get the hang of it.
I never really got the hang of it though. Yeah. I really like that game though. I really enjoyed my time. I feel like because it was shorter, I had more fun with it than I did 2. Even though 2 is definitely a better game.
Yeah.
But like 3 was just like, I felt like as soon as it got to the point where I was like almost too much, it was done. So I was like, okay, cool. That's where it is. But yeah, I mean, like the story isn't that. It's not that special. It's the same as how it was back in the day. They basically just remade the game. Yeah. You know.
They cut out certain sections of it, but that's neither here.
Yeah. Like the plot towers. They had some plot tower shit. I know.
I thought the boss fight, the final boss was underwhelming.
Wasn't it like the big? Yeah, because I tested you, like, I fucking hate this boss, but I can't understand it. Then I read, like, oh, you have to do this one thing. I was okay. And then you just, like, kill him in, like, 2 tries.
Yeah. Like.
Because you had to, like, stun him or something like that, right? You had to stun him and then just blow him up, and then you're good. And then you pull the things out. Because I kept trying to pull the things out as he was attacking, and I was just getting murdered. But then once I figured that out, it was, like, too easy.
Yeah, I mean, the Resident Evil series has always been very video gamey and wears it on his sleeve. But I'm like, really? This is like I really don't like the same reoccurring boss fight just in a different form. Not really for me.
It depends on the game. I think for that type of game, it doesn't work. But I think for like let's say like a Ghost of Tsushima or like a Sly Cooper or like a really like action type game like that, I think that's where it's cool because like they add like, you know what I mean? Because then it's like, or like Devil May Cry, it does it all the time. Like you fight Virgil like 3 times in Devil May Cry 3, and like it's cool because then like each time is more difficult, but you learn something about it. But with like Resident Evil, you can't. All you can do is just kind of dodge and try to bullet sponge it. So I get that.
I mean, I think also the dodge mechanic. I'm like, imagine if that was in 2, and Nemesis just walking up on you. I think that would have killed a lot of the atmosphere.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I wasn't that scared in 3, but I had fun playing it. Because like Nemesis doesn't scare me the same way that like Ets does. Because Mr. S he's like, oh, and you're like, oh fuck, I didn't know he was there. But like you hear Nemesis coming a mile away, and he's so big, and he's kind of cool looking. So I said, okay, that's cool.
Oh, he's so badass. I'm not scared of that. But Mr. X, like when he's walking through you, and the footsteps on the other side of us got me.
Because then you start to hear, they're like, oh, am I fucking hearing that, or is that my house? All right, well, we've been going for an hour. You guys want to call it?
Yeah, I think it's time.
I might cut a little bit of the beginning. I don't know. We'll see. Or I might all stay in. Who knows?
You do you. I'm not that.
Yeah. Remember, today's video is sponsored by blah blah blah, and go type in code clapping them cheeks for 3 weeks of blah. We are not. Raid Shack AFK Arena. Fucking Markiplier was on one of them. Skillshare, yeah. Oh. Whoops.
Oh, I thought you knocked your microphone off.
No, but I knocked over the screen of my dad's stereo.
Oh, classic.
I keep getting my thing. Yeah, Next Gen doesn't have a sponsor, but we could. We have a whole spot just right here waiting for you.
Like, hey,
I'm for sale. I can't speak for nobody else, but I'm for sale. I'm always for sale. You can own my likeness.
We should get you a total of 150 views.
Really, it's more like 100, and really, it was more like 30.
Mm-hmm. No, it's 159, 159. I just checked it.
Yeah, that's what it says. Yeah, it is.
I just checked it.
All right. Thank you for joining us, Cred. Thank you for joining us. This has been the Next Gen Podcast. We'll be back with maybe some gameplay. We'll probably do some more podcasts at some point. We record on Wednesdays now, so that means we'll probably upload them. God knows when. Probably Saturday. I feel like Saturday gives me enough time to not think about it for a while, and then be like, oh shit, I need to upload it.
Oh shit, I gotta hurry up.
I need to upload. Damn, I ain't edited it yet.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, and then maybe we'll get Chris or Everett or somebody down. Not Mike. No, I'm kidding.
Everybody but Mike.
All right, Taylor, Dante, thank you for joining me.
Always.
I've been Ben, and as always, we'll see you next time. And we play the music. I don't know what's on it. I haven't picked it yet. But damn, sounds good, don't it? Bye, y'all.